Hey there, it's Sony. In this video, I will be doing a tarot deck interview of the Blooming Cat Tarot. This is a follow-up to the unboxing and flip-through video that I did of this 90 card deck, which includes 12 cards of astrological signs. I'm setting out here the sign for Aquarius because today is February 1st and there's a new moon in Aquarius today. So you'll also see that this card lists one of the stones for Aquarius as amethyst. So I put this amethyst stone on top of the deck just to get the right vibe for the deck interview. So what I'm going to be doing is pulling a card to have the deck tell me about its essence, its current strengths and limitations, what this deck can teach, and what this deck would like or prefer to give advice about. So I will be putting a link to the video of the unboxing and flip through in the comments, and I'll go ahead and pin the comments so those interested in taking a look at the unboxing and flip through can see that. And there was a card that came with a deck that kind of suggested the type of shuffling to do because the card stock is kind of thick, but I'm finding that the rifle shuffling is just good enough for me. So here we go. I'm going to start with the essence of this deck. We have the World card, current strength, Seven of Swords, current limitations, Ten of Swords, what this deck can teach, Three of Wands, and what type of situations or question the deck would prefer to give advice about, Seven of Wands. And the bottom of the deck, Ace of Wands, which I tend to use as the influencing energy or the overall lesson of the spread here. So Ace of Wands being basically giving new life, new innovation, new ideas. Considering this is a new deck and this is my first reading of it, I think it's appropriate. In terms of the essence of this deck being the World, I take it to be both a new journey and the potential for accomplishing a lot of things, so that there will be a lot of kind of new voyages and completions of cycles with this deck. In terms of the current strengths, you have the Seven of Swords, and in this deck, swords are, instead of swords, it's lavender. So, but it still says Seven of Swords at the bottom there. Seven of Swords is usually like, could be liar, stealer, cheater type of thing. But it also can be having a unique plan of action. And also can be like fun and outrageous. In the traditional Seven of Swords, the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it kind of seems like it's almost like a prank. So here with this cute little kitty cat almost sticking its tongue out, I'm going to say that its strengths are kind of being creative and a prankster. Not sure how that will go with tarot cards, but we'll do some clarification on it. In terms of the current limitations, it's the 10 of Swords, or 10 of Lavender. So here you can see the lavender is sticking out of the belly of the kitty cat. Basically, I'm going to say that this means that its current limitation is vulnerability, because when kitty cats show you their tummy, they're vulnerable and they're being submissive. So it could be that currently this deck is not really quite grasped its confidence yet and is still kind of in the vulnerable stage. In terms of the what the deck can teach me, we have the 3 of Wands. So it could be kind of more success, definitely moving outside of a comfort zone and connecting with others, to kind of have the type of fulfillment in life that I would desire. Sounds pretty good. In terms of the situations or questions that the deck would prefer to give advice about, we have the 7 of Wands here. So for the 7 of Wands, I take that to be kind of learning your inner truth and standing up for yourself. There's a lot of competition in jobs, education, and even amongst, dating, friendships. And so basically I think that questions that have to do with, what to do when there is kind of pushback and a test of your will, then this might be what the deck wants to answer questions about. So I'm going to do a couple of clarifications. When I do readings, I tend to use a different deck for clarifications, but because this is an interview of the Blooming Cat Tarot deck, I'm going to use the same deck to clarify. So I will pull 2 cards to clarify the world here. In terms of the essence, King of Wands kind of indicates a bold, courageous, and passionate personality. And Queen of Swords, which indicates having a balanced heart and mind, honest, truthful communication. So that's pretty good clarifier for the essence. In terms of 7 of Swords being its current strength, I'll go ahead and pull 2 clarifiers. 10 of Pentacles, I think that's pretty much one of the best cards in the deck. It's basically having enough for yourself, your friends, your family, having a legacy. And 9 of Cups, which is definitely self-confidence, fulfillment, and ability to not only keep your own cups full, but enough for others. So yeah, I think the 7 of Swords here in terms of its strength is more its ability to think in creative ways and have fun. I think those are also, King of Wands resonates with that. In terms of the 10 of Swords being the current limitation of this deck. I'll get a clarifier on that of 2 cards. Let's see here. 4 of Wands, which is basically celebration, a home, feeling at home, and it could be that this deck is kind of vulnerable, but will be, you know, understands that this is a celebration in a new home. And then you have the 10 of Cups, which is basically, you know, happiness, joy, like all these kitties. I have 2 cats, and this deck adds another cat to it. So far it's looking like a good interview. In terms of what this deck can teach me, the 3 of Wands, I'll go ahead and clarify that. I'll take 2 cards. King of Swords. So it's basically having life experience and compassion and being able to set boundaries, problem solve, good analysis. And you have Queen of Pentacles, which is basically kind of being nurturing, compassionate, connected with people, connected with the environment, managing resources. So I can see how King of Swords and Queen of Pentacles would basically help with expanding, connecting, networking, things like that. And in terms of the 7 of Wands being the type of situations this deck would like to provide advice about, we'll clarify that as well. Queen of Wands. So this is kind of a person that marches to the beat of their own drum and basically kind of lights up a room whenever they walk into it. Also mysterious, and just have a certain something about them where you want to get to know them and are drawn to them. So it could be situations they want to, or this desk wants to give advice about in terms of either being that type of person or connecting with those types of people. Oh, and I forgot to take the other card, but it has the 10 of Wands. So in terms of 10 of Wands, it's kind of burdens, taking on too much, really hopeful about what you'll be able to accomplish, but not really seeing a clear path ahead because there's too much responsibility you're taking on. So maybe it was meant to be that I pulled these 2 cards because it would seem that these types of energies conflicting or butting up against each other would relate to a 7 of Wands situation where you're feeling like you need to stand up for yourself, stand your ground, and have confidence in yourself in what you can accomplish. So here we have, I look at the bottom of this deck, it's the 4 of Cups here, which usually means like needing to have gratitude, but it also can just be contemplation. Although this cat under the deck, or sorry, under the tree here kind of looks sad, but basically the Ace of Wands is the type of energy that would is an offering to bump up whatever kind of sad kitty there is in this card. So this is the interview reading that I have for Blooming Cat Tarot. I'll go ahead and pin in the comments the unboxing and flip through video that I did previously, and if you're interested in this deck, I believe Kickstarter still has pre-orders for $30, something like that. But I hope this has been helpful, and we'll see you next time. Take care.